What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Sonny, you want to say what up?
Hey guys, I'm your girl Sunny D. I'm here. I showed up. Me and
Yes, you did.
Casamigos. No, I'm playing. Me and Casamigos broke up.
Uh-oh. Well, thank you for showing up. We got a great show lined up for you guys. So we're here and waiting on the other guys to show up as well. In the meantime, I'm just going to remind you to check out our website over at gftradioshow.com for all of our links, all of our socials, as well as join the conversation group. Make sure you get over on Facebook and join our discussion group. Tons and tons of great topics are floating around over there. Some that complement the show, some that are just random and fun. So make sure you go over there and check that out. Listen free on demand 24/7 on all the major audio platforms, as well as see replays here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube for the video replays. Hey, Tiff, how you doing? Appreciate
Hey
you showing
Tiff.
up as well. Appreciate everybody that's watching at home. Make sure you guys comment, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell because we have tons of shows, and you want to make sure that you know when we're on here with great topics for you guys to check out. So tonight we're going to be talking about a topic that I wasn't even aware of. It's a concept called soft living or the soft life. So we're going to talk about what is the soft life and how you can start living it, and talk about some of the ins and outs of it, as well as some the different discussions that I noticed out there, and had some discussions with others about this, and what the soft life is and what it's not. That was one of the bigger topics, as well as ways that you really should be doing it. So we're going to go over all of that tonight, and hope you guys chime in as well. So make sure you do that. No comment is left unturned, unless you're disrespectful, then we block you.
That
so
part. Expeditiously.
definitely hit that like button. Please hit that like button for us. We need some engagement from you guys. We appreciate the views, but we definitely need the engagement as well. So hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, hit the love button, whatever you want to do on a reaction, hit that for us, so that we can get that engagement and everything as well. I just hit that button, double clicked it by mistake. But yeah, feel free to comment. We definitely want to hear from you as we discuss this topic of what is the soft life. So I found this article. I'll try to post a link in the comments. Found this article that talked about what soft living really is, and the concept itself. It started off as a way for people to kind of basically slow down. The concept of soft living is kind of counter to some of the ways that social media and society has taught us how to live, work, and play. We're told all the time to work hard and grind and do everything that's necessary, make sacrifices to be successful. If you work hard, you play hard, right? Get out there and do all kinds of extreme activities. And then, when it comes to home life, do everything you can to raise your family and provide them with things like great vacations and extracurricular activities and all that kind of stuff. But what soft living is all about is slowing down, self-care, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family in such a way that they can, be more, have more of a slower, and balanced lifestyle versus the grind that we're told is the way to go. I know a lot of people had talked about this some years ago. How the what was it, sleep when you die
Yeah,
concept.
like no, you. I don't need sleep. I'll sleep when I die.
Right, exactly. And so we started to try to debunk that and push that away out of society a couple years ago, just before the pandemic. And the pandemic taught us that we needed to do that, right? A lot of people learned that during the pandemic that you definitely needed to slow down. You definitely needed to reconnect with people and realize that, you know, work is not everything. These companies will replace you in a heartbeat.
I tell people that all the time.
Yeah, and then even small business owners learn quickly that, you know, the or even large business owners too learn quickly that capitalism is fragile, and that, you know, all the hard work that you put into making money and getting lavish things into your life mean nothing when, you know, that those things aren't available, or when you can't afford those things because business is down, you know, the economy shut down, things like that. So we learned a lot of hard lessons over the last few years, and soft living is one of the outputs of that, and you know, teaching us that, you know, the stress-free life is the way to go. Being able to set boundaries, prioritize yourself, and then make decisions to be more self-aware of and understanding the things that you need to do to bring your life into balance, and to slow things down. So soft living, Sonny, what did you think about it? And have you seen this out there on social media? Because it seems to be pretty popular, 600 million views and counting over on TikTok alone.
Well, see, I didn't hear about it until you mentioned it. Mm-hmm. And then, like, you sent us the article, and I was reading up on it, and something I need to be doing. Just like, you know, just living a relaxed life, like, instead of being frustrated and with a lot of stuff, and just getting things in order, and more importantly, protecting your peace. That's what I got from it. It's like a big protection of peace. And like, if you've been through a lot of stuff, and a lot of people have their hands in a lot of stuff, a lot of the negativity in your life, soft living may be an ideal for you to break away from that. The biggest thing I got from it is, like you said, finding peace within yourself, and also setting boundaries and sticking to them, and not allowing people to cross those boundaries. And if they attempt to, you can just take them out of the rotation and go back to being. It's pretty much being unbothered. Well, what I believe, what's his name? Omarion was doing.
Right, exactly.
He was soft, like, because he was just, well, at least on the outside looking in, it seemed like nothing really bothered him. He was just focused on whatever he was doing, and just trying to be on the positive end of things. And I think that it's a good thing to do. I for me, majorly, like, it's something like, as I read about, I'm like, this is something I should be doing with myself, because, you know, I'm out here dealing with nonsense, and I don't have to. Right. And I can just set healthy boundaries and live a purposeful, meaningful, stress-free life. And that, I think, it ends up to you being healthy physically, mentally. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It helps you in so many ways. So I think if this is a trend that everybody's going to ride, then I think this definitely is a trend that people need to be riding, like, hard, like, you know, because this is something that's more positive and less, you know, crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, one thing I found interesting was the fact that, you know, they say that it originated within the Nigerian influencer community. So shouts out to them for coming up with this concept. And then it became a movement, right? And like you said, it's definitely something that I think a lot of people could benefit from. Same here. You know, I definitely live the grind harder lifestyle. And, you know, at one point in my life, I worked jobs where, you know, I put in, you know, double shifts and working 7 days straight and all that kind of stuff. I've also owned businesses, and, you know, probably worked harder on those than I probably needed to in certain situations. You know, it's great to work hard. It's great to do what you can do to, you know, be successful, as well as to provide your family with a great lifestyle. But, you know, sometimes when you're making too many sacrifices, you miss the point. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that was the one thing for me, was understanding that, you know, taking the time away from my children, taking the time away from my own self-care was, you know, burning me out. It was, you know, creating a divide between me and my kids. And it was literally killing me. I remember there was a job I was on, and I had a client that needed something done, you know, within a short amount of time. And I was putting in so many hours that I sat at my desk and literally had blood pooling in my legs, to the point that I could have, you know, had heart failure. And, that's when I realized that, this is not the way to live, and that sometimes we have to take a step back and realize that we need that work-life balance, that we need to get push that hustle culture behind us, and do better at our mental health, our physical health, things like that. The numbers are out there. People are literally getting laid off or fired from jobs because these companies are downsizing. But also, when people are let go from jobs, you're replaced in minutes. So
yeah, I tell people often, like with my line of work, I work in HR. I tell people a lot to like if you're sick, and I need to tell myself this because this may be a reality for me. Right. Going out and taking care of you, because you can afford it. You're protected while doing so. If you're fortunate enough to have one of those jobs where you have FMLA, so you're protected to go care for yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's people that drop dead at work, and guess what? The next day, somebody else is doing a job that person was doing. It's still going to get done. That work's still going to be here, whether you show up or not. It's people that don't take sick days. It's people that don't do all these things because they're so worried about the work and not living. Or your life is work. So you don't want that. And I think soft living is a healthier way to be able to balance that out and get that. And understanding, I think people need to understand, prioritize you. Like, yeah, I'm come to work. I would work in HR. Come to work, do your job. But you're allowed to be able to go out and care for yourself or care for a family member if they're sick and they really need your help, or you need help with yourself and you need to be able to be out and be okay and still have a job to come back to. So I think a lot of us, it's okay to be a hustler, right?
Right.
It's just that you also need to understand that you do need sleep. Your body shuts down. You're working yourself so hard that you have a fucking heart attack. And I respect the hustle, especially for those who are entrepreneurs. Like you're building your business, your brand, and everything. So you have to go hard for it. Nobody else will. It makes sense, but at the same time, you need to be here to make that happen.
Right.
And running yourself ragged is not the way, because by the time you get to your dream fulfilled, you on your deathbed because you worked so hard to get there. So I think that that's the thing that people miss, because like I said, you have to be able to comfortably function and still be about, I respect the hustle. You got your business. You know that you have limitations on what you could be outside doing. You have to make sure you make time to do the things you need to do, but also make sure you get sleep.
Yeah.
Make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah, Tiffany commented, I'm all about self-care, my peace. It matters, and if you don't make it a priority, nobody else will. I'm learning. Yeah, definitely, Tiffany. And that's the thing, is that, making a priority of yourself, making a priority of self-care, of increasing your own peace. Those are huge. Some of the other things that are pointed out in the article I just posted in the comments, make sure you guys check that out later, include some habits that you should, adopt in order to start living a soft life. Those include prioritizing yourself, like we were just saying, putting yourself first, prioritizing your peace, saying no, setting those boundaries. Because I think a lot of times, a lot of us are, slaves to our patterns and our like between working a job, like overworking, having so much going on at home that you're literally searching to be busy, searching for things to do to be busy. Also, not keeping up with your own needs. And so if somebody is or people are asking you for help all the time, or if you're constantly the person that everybody puts everything on, and I know a lot of you mothers out there can relate, is the fact that you sometimes have to set boundaries. And like the third point mentioned, set healthy boundaries and honor your time. That's important. And if you're not honoring yourself enough, then nobody else will. Like Tiffany said, you have to do that, because if you're not making yourself a priority, nobody's going to do that for you. What up, though, Jamie? Appreciate you joining.
Right, Jamie. Hey.
But and then it also mentions being mindful of what you're consuming. You know, I know a lot of people out there are really deliberate about, you know, only watching certain types of media, you know, TV shows and movies, listening to only certain types of music, not consuming so much social media, you know, because there's so much negativity out there. And you know, that was one of my biggest things. Is I was really huge into social media when it first, you know, came out, probably all the way up until a few years ago. And then I started to realize there was just so much negativity. There was so much, you know, there was so much foolishness out there. It wasn't worth it, you know, to keep consuming that. And it affects the way you think, it affects the way you act, it affects the way you live. And you know, being able to separate yourself from that, take breaks, or just, you know, limit what you're doing with it, it's huge. It makes a world of difference when it comes to, you know, your peace of mind, and being able to, you know, just even have a good day.
Yeah, I think, and it's funny because I just watched this. Got get obsessed and stuck on reels from time to time. I don't know if it was TikTok or it might have been Facebook. I was watching reels or TikToks, and a lady was talking to another lady. They were talking about going to bed at night. You know how some of us need to have TV on white noise, if you will, to be able to go to sleep. She
Oh yeah.
said they were having a conversation about what do you need to be on, like what type of stuff do you watch before you go to bed. And you know, the lady was like, she used to go to she talked to somebody and they was like they used to go to sleep to like horror films or some type of violent something.
Right.
And she said, why is that soothing enough to put you to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
And she said it's a mental thing. Like you basically you're comfortable, you're relaxed. And a lot of us get like that, where we're so used to dysfunction and violence that we are comfortable with watching this when we're getting ready to go to bed, because it calms us and it relaxes us. It puts us in a peaceful state to go to sleep, which is crazy because you think about it, like that's why when that said be mindful of what you're consuming, it's like we do that not realizing that we're I don't want to say putting something in the air, but putting our like, why is violence a common? And this is why we say when we talk about how people get comfortable with mass shootings or killings, people
right.
get killed.
You get
That state
desensitized.
of mind it's second nature.
Yeah, you get desensitized to it, right? To the
That
point
part.
of
That's what I was trying to say.
that becomes normal in your life. And having something like that, like back in the day, I remember talking about, you know, living in certain neighborhoods, right? And people are saying, okay, I move out of the city and I go into a suburban area or a country setting, and then I can't sleep because there's no gunshots, there's no sirens, there's no chaos, right? And it's bad for your body and your mind to be so used to chaos that you can't even appreciate the peace of a quieter setting or of a, you know, non-chaotic setting. But being able to, you know, detox your body and your mind, get rid of those toxic environments, and be able to, you know, really appreciate that, it does wonders for your mind and your soul.
Yeah.
What up, Doe?
What's up, gang?
Hey, Heimbo, he seems so happy to be here.
I know, right?
Huh?
My wife at work. My wife at work. I had the little girl just went to sleep.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So I'm daddy.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear you. I'm sorry. I know you're trying to be quiet for the baby, but yeah, it's really hard to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Put the microphone on.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's better. That's better. Yeah.
Go.
What do you think about this soft living concept, Hank?
The older you get, the softer you want to live.
Mm.
The younger you are, the harder you want to live. You do dumb shit like 21 shots for your birthday when you're young. You'll never do 41 shots for your birthday. You'll be a fucking fool if you did something like that.
Might fuck around and shoot yourself.
That's what I'm saying. You'll be in a hospital. You'll be hallucinating. You would never do some shit like that. You want the quiet neighborhood where there's no gunshots when you got kids and grandkids and shit to lose.
Yeah.
When you don't have none of that, you don't give a fuck that niggas is sitting on the steps selling whatever all goddamn day. Because you just used to the noise. You want to be in the noise. You want to be in the bullshit. You want to know what's going on. The older you get, the softer you want it to be. From my opinion.
Oh yeah, so that's true. I mean, with maturity comes the need for soft living, right?
That makes sense.
As well as, you know, understanding, you know,
With
what you've
responsibility
been
comes the
through.
need.
Yeah.
Because
That's why we take away, we separate ourselves, to, I forget who said it, to the point of growth. You what you used to do is not what you're currently doing, or you shouldn't still be doing what you used to do. For you've been doing the same thing for 15 years, you ain't grow.
Right.
And
right,
whoever you in your
exactly.
circle with is a problem, because nobody, y'all all in the same type of time for 15 whole years. Y'all ain't never decide to be grown ups and do adult shit instead of, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt,
some
no
people
doubt.
never want to do adult shit though, because they never become adults. They
That
just
part.
became 47.
Right, right. And then the last point that they brought out was that being intentional with mindfulness, daily habits, and routines. That, that's huge. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, is that some of us are in a routine of constantly working, constantly on the go, constantly busy, and that causes us to be, or it causes us to ignore the things that our body needs, like sleep, like healthier eating, like um, things such as reading a book, taking a walk, things like that that become unimportant because we're so busy or we're so wrapped up in what's going on at work or in the activities that are needed for home. So being able to be intentional and mindful of what you need to do to kind of detach yourself from that is very important.
So something that y'all was touching on before I jumped on, my bad. I don't even mean to just jump over what you was just saying.
Mhm.
But something that y'all was touching on was setting boundaries, and then you have to respect the boundaries that you set. If you don't respect those boundaries, then why am I respecting those boundaries? That was,
Right.
segue how we always do. I think that was episode 109, 108, where we talked about that exact same thing. Uh, what was it? 108. My bad. Yeah, where you say, "Look, I'm getting this workout in every day. I gotta lose this weight," but then you find every excuse in the world not to be at that gym at 6 o'clock like you said you was.
Hmm.
Where if you set the standard of, look, 6 o'clock, between 6 and 7, I'm in the gym, I'm not answering the phone unless something's on fire. Don't call me. If you keep stopping answering the phone, if you keep replying to all these text messages, then you're not setting the boundaries. So if you're not meeting those expectations of yourself, then why am I meeting them? Why is it important to me? The thing that I've come to think and realize is I can't care more about your problem than you do.
Right.
Because if you don't give a fuck, why do I care? If Willie tells me, man, I really got to stop eating red meat, it's fucking me up. My family got this history of this, that, and whatever. And then I just call you and you say, yeah, I'm just getting a burger. Like, all right, so stop telling me about you need to do this, you need to do that, because you're not respecting those boundaries. So if you ain't respecting them, don't say when I invite you to a cookout, oh, y'all ain't got no turkey burgers, y'all ain't got no turkey.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't hit me with
Right.
that shit if you ain't respecting it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Smooth shared the same sentiment about, you gonna talk about the same problem over and over again, then you're the problem, and I don't want to hear it
Yeah,
no
you're a
more.
part of the problem. Copy.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so we talked a lot about some of the higher level concepts of it. Some of the activities I found to be great examples out there, such as, like I said, maybe sitting down and reading a book, being able to watch something that's not violent or not overly aggressive, something that will soothe you, doing something like going to a spa and relaxing, going on a walk, even something as simple as sitting in your backyard and just enjoying, a good, cup of wine or a glass of wine and a soft music and just relaxing in the evening. Those are some of the things that, I saw in a lot of the posts and a lot of the articles talking about, the best way to do soft living. So, the question is soft living really a new concept? Is this really something that, we hadn't done before? What do you guys think?
I don't think so. I think people have done it. It's more of a fad now.
Hmm.
So now more people are trying to practice that or make that their current life. But I think it's nothing new. It's just now we got a different name for it at this moment in time. And it's like it's a lot of
Copy.
people that been living a life stress free and happy, like real life happy. and peace, and that peace. It's a lot of people that are not, and I think now, I mean, I guess that's not new either. There's a lot of people that are not at peace. They're good at faking it, but it's legit people that are completely and unapologetically happy in their peace and their solitude, and they're okay with it. Well, not really solitude, but okay with how they choose to live a stress, because it's basically stress-free life, right?
Right.
And a healthier life of you putting yourself first and just accepting, being who you are and standing in it, and being okay with not everybody being on board with you being that. But at the end of the day, you're at peace, you're healthy, you're minding your own business, so you're great. So I don't think it's anything new. I think it's been around. It's just a different name on it, and now it'll become more of a fad. But it's like I said, it's one of those things, one of them trends that I feel like a lot of people need to embrace, because a lot of people are miserable.
Right.
And if it means you taking a look into yourself and changing yourself for the better, soft life is definitely like I said, that's one of the things I would support, you being happy within yourself and being, because like I said, people out here dying of heart attacks because they stressed.
Right. Tam said, I feel like people now need to announce or label things that people have been doing. So yeah. And go ahead, Hank, before I go, I'll let you go ahead.
I agree with that, Tan. That's what I was about to say. The same thing that Sonny was saying. You just putting a name on it. Once you put a name on stuff, then we can make a hashtag, we can make videos, and then we can brand it as something.
Right.
But
and then
work up.
I'm doing love life.
Something that Sonny was saying though is we all don't. Everybody doesn't know what happy looks like. Some people grew up in chaos and they've never seen happy. They've never seen a successful relationship. They've never had a good relationship with any woman or any man. Like, so they don't understand that they're miserable and don't know how to be happy. So they couldn't even get to the point of a soft life, because I can't, when I look in the mirror type of thing, I'm disgusted with this person and the thing that I see in myself. So why would you accept me as the counterpart? So we got to get past there first. We have to know what is the goal? What are we looking to do? What are we striving for? And if we're not having those type of conversations as these grown ass adults that we are, then we are just kind of fucking up, wasting time. Again, the older you get, the softer you want to be. You're looking to just fuck up things and it's just whatever when you're younger. But once you got, life insurance and mortgage payment, like you got car in your name, not in your mom's name, like things get different.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I definitely agree with all of you about that. The fact that it's definitely not new. It's definitely just putting a label on something that that people are either already doing in their lives or are already aspiring to do in their lives. As Hank brought out, with older age or with maturity, I definitely feel like it's something that. Like I said, a few years ago, we've already been pushing this agenda of let's get out of this grind, this constant grind. Let's be more mindful of what we need to do for self-care. Self-care, I know, was one of those big concepts that we labeled back in the day. And we're like, hey, you need to do more to, have a healthier lifestyle. You need to do more to relax. You need to do more to disconnect from social media and from things that are negative in your life. I think that the number of people out there, like you were saying, Hank, that have not even had a chance to live a soft life, a softer life, or that are constantly in chaos because that's all they know. There is that large population of people out there like that. But I think even they are taking notice. They are even noticing that this isn't really the way life should go. I think like what Sonny was saying earlier is that I do like the concept though, and the fact that we are talking about it, but having to do a marketing hashtag on it, or trying to get clicks on a post on Instagram or TikTok, it's just it's definitely commercializing it, and that goes into my next question, because I think that's one of those caveats to it, right? Because once you start commercializing something, then people start to twist it and they start to manipulate it into something different. And one of the things
Because
that
they
I
can't
noticed is
understand the
there was,
concept. That's why.
yeah, say it again.
Because they can't understand what the concept is
They
that you're
can't
getting at.
understand the concept exactly, and they get it twisted because they start looking at it from a different perspective of what they think this life should be. And one of the things that had popped up that I noticed was that there was a lot of posts out there where influencers were showing the soft life, quote unquote, as being something about luxury and obtaining luxury. So they started pushing this narrative of, being able to go on these lavish vacations, but you're not working. And then being able to have luxurious things like, new purses and new cars and, finer clothes. And, is this what soft life is really about? Some people are seeing it as that now because it's being commercialized to the point of that, it's twisting the meaning. And so with the influencers misrepresenting what soft living is meant to be, is this making it harmful? What do you guys think?
A lack of knowledge is always going to be a problem. How many people do you hear say, well, my definition is 1 + 1 is always going to be 2? I don't give a fuck how passionate you are that it's 7. It's not 7. Like, okay, healthy relationships are healthy relationships. I don't give a fuck. Like, people who say shit like, well, you got to have some arguments in a relationship. No, you don't. Like, you don't have to have anything in a relationship for it to be successful other than communication. And like some of us just don't know what those things look like. Some of us can't comprehend those. Some of us can't comprehend those things or even know that they exist. So we just flat out go straight against it because we don't understand it. Instead of, like Smooth say, improve your argument, improve yourself. You get better at it. You try to understand it better. Instead of saying that everything is the problem except you, maybe you're the problem. Maybe you need to reevaluate. Because if you're always the common denominator and things are always changing, I mean, and everything else is always changing, then that kind of points the finger at you if you just paid attention to what the fuck is going on.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Shouts out to
it's.
my man, Ceiling Fan Smooth. Ladies, those DMs are wide open.
I don't know if they are, but
Oh,
just saying. But no, I think it is a it is a problem with misrepresent. I don't think it makes it harmful. It's just the same way with fake news, right? It's giving a false narrative and spending things the way you want them want them to be. So wow, if somebody really is trying to get into living their soft life or following that trend and living a soft life, they should do their research fully before choosing to do that. Same way if you chose, if I woke up tomorrow and said, you know what, I'm about to be a vegan, let me research what that means so I understand what I'm planning on doing, so I know what I can, what I can't, what difference, like where I'm trying to be at with it. So that's what he said. The DMs are closed. I tried to say it smooth. I was over here minding my business though. I'm trying to soft life. I'm trying to have a soft life. Not many play.
copy
But
that.
but yeah, I feel like it shouldn't be harmful. If you actually want to live the soft life, you should be researching what that is. If you don't know what it is, you should do what we did. Get some little information on it, try to get a better understanding of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's something that will work for you and that's something that you feel is an option for you, then do that. I tell, same like picking the health insurance. Make sure you weigh your options, and this one looks like something I want to do, so you do. You shouldn't be just doing stuff on a whim. But then again, you have people that are like that, and then they get misinformed and be living stupid lives like other people, and then be like, "Oh, I'm just like, no, that's not it."
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it does, do some harm because we're getting back to what social media has always done wrong, right? It's misrepresented how life should be, and putting a tag on something that people are either promoting or they're trying to say is the way that life should be, and then somebody twisting that and showing it as this unattainable lifestyle where folks are going to end up having to get back into that grind or get back into that rut and just to make something like this happen. Or like this one article I was reading that said that soft living should be canceled, and it talked about how these
How you gonna cancel
influencers are.
soft living? People are just.
Well,
don't
they
think
were talking
again,
about
Sonny.
the
It's the
soft living as
understanding.
a hashtag,
Oh yeah.
as the way that they're representing it. They were talking about that from that standpoint, and they were saying how they were looking at it from the standpoint that a lot of these influencers are putting it out there as if there's this way to live that soft life without, like I said, without hard work, being able to have these luxurious things without having the challenges that are taken to achieve those things, being able to just get into any space that you want to get into without having to do the work behind it. And that's not what soft living is about. The soft living portion of it is, do your hard work, do what you need to do to be successful, but then take that step back and get into a regimen as well of being mindful of what you're doing to disconnect, and what you're doing to be more healthier while you're also being successful. So I think that the concept is getting twisted. Smooth Dame, thanks for joining. You guys want to jump in on that?
What's going on, y'all? My apologies for being late. I was working.
Smooth need that soft life.
For me, I wish I would have been here from the beginning so I could fully get what y'all was saying, the definition of soft living is, because I'm still on the fence of what it is. From my understanding, soft living is I've mainly heard women say that. To be honest with you, I never heard that come from men. Heard that come from women. From my perspective, it was women who have been independent, who've been taking care of themselves, who've been handling all the business, taking care of the family, and it was time for them to, take a step back and be pampered a little bit, take care of themselves, and focus on their mental, spiritual, and physical health. That's what I thought the definition of soft living was. Now I may be wrong, but if that's the case, now I never seen anything with it. Now y'all saying it's being misrepresented. I hope y'all ain't go. I know y'all probably went over it, but can y'all explain to me how it's being misrepresented?
Oh yeah, like I was just saying, there's a lot of influencers out there that are they're in their posts, instead of posting things that talk about just prioritizing your health and your well-being, or doing things, because what soft living is about getting rid of the hustle and the grind, and being mindful of what you're consuming in terms of like the media, what you're doing in terms of like your daily habits, instead of working 18-hour shifts, being mindful that you do need to get your rest, that you do need to exercise, you do need to eat healthy, you do need to take time out for your family to do things that have nothing to do with the hustle and bustle of the world. But some of these influencers are twisting it a bit to be more of a luxury seeking lifestyle, more of a go on these lavish vacations and spend a bunch of money on material things, being more fashionable, being buying fancy new cars, things like that. So they're definitely twisting it to be something that's a little bit more unattainable versus being
a facade.
Say it again.
They're trying to turn it into a facade and an illusion of what soft living is. Now I have to be honest. I have seen that. See this. My thing is with social media is when you get these so-called influencers or people who got a certain number of followers, what have you. They tend to exaggerate things or be, overextend the truth, so to speak. So now that you say that and gave me the proper definition, yeah, it is being misrepresented a lot out here. Social media itself is a facade.
Yes.
When we really think think about it, social media itself is a complete, as a whole, misrepresentation. Now you'll have the few, like I like Hype's pages. When that Hype pages are about what Hype talks about all the time. You see his H2H cleaning. You'll see his, you know what I mean, his podcast. He never does nothing out of the ordinary or something that's fake or an illusion. Even when you look at my page, some of it is an illusion because it just shows me and my daughter's happy moments. You know what I'm saying? And don't show the times when we frustrated or we argue. So the whole social media thing and the influencers, I always say they misrepresent everything. So it's only right that they misrepresent this.
Right.
Can I piggyback on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Before we swing at the Dame, social media is all about what you make it. But again, the whole conversation with when you stated about canceling something, again, let's put a label on it. Let's make it a hashtag. Let's make it something that we can market and brand. When people say like social media is so negative, social media or any of these things are only what you make them. On my different pages, on the podcast page, I follow podcasts. That's what the podcast page is for. It's not about, I might throw in, hey, I got the jackets or I got a cleaning company just to let you know about this other thing. Go follow that too. But this is where you're getting podcasts. All I have in my feed are podcasters. I don't give a fuck what Damian Lillard's doing tonight. I don't care if LeBron's making tacos. That's not going to be something we talk about on the How to Hustle podcast every Tuesday at 2 on the GFT Radio Network. It's not going to be something we tackle. It's not going to be something we're looking to do. It's not somebody we're looking to collab with. We're looking to collab with them on an episode, but they're not there yet. So that's not where we're going with this. And it's not about putting up a facade of everybody shouldn't see your happy, your good, your bad, and all your moments. I like to live life in the moment that I'm there. I don't need to live my life through the lens of the phone so that you can see I was there.
Right.
Like that's the stupidest shit in the world. Like I work in like the concert, in concerts. I see every fucking body in the world. And if I had my phone out all the time so you could see that I saw this person or met this person or he has a wristband or she has a wristband, that would be fucking stupid. But that's what most people do because everybody's in the facade these days.
Right. Indeed. What up, Dame?
Yo, what's going on?
Not much. You up to date on this? What's your thoughts on how harmful this could be, or do you think it's harmful?
It is harmful. It can be. Hype, he's so fired right now. He didn't wait for the alley-oop. So mad.
Oh. Dang, you know Dame likes to throw you the alley.
I mean, he didn't wait for, his name is Hype, not Hype. He's not geeked up. You can catch him every Tuesday for his podcast. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
It's HYMPE. You know what I'm saying? Spell it out for him too.
Lord.
So the social media is all about the likes. It's all about the likes. Who can get more likes? I get more likes than you. It's all about outrage. And the social media influencers, they drag you in with positive stuff to get you going. Because you notice a lot of the big influencers, those big names, they bring you in with some, to get you hooked. But then they kind of switch the game to get more controversial. Like, I won't say his name, Derek Jackson, he's one. Kevin Samuels, before he passed away, he was catering to another audience before he started bashing women. It's stuff like that. It's what they show, what you see from what they want to show you. They want to show you that lifestyle. It's not real. It can be real, but I'm not showing you the way I live. Live simple life, simple, y'all kind of went everywhere. So it's like I got a lot of information from all of you guys.
I would like to
back to you later.
I would also like to add.
You live your life simple. You have less problems, basically.
Right. Go ahead, Smooth.
See, that's what I was going to piggyback on. Soft living can mean different things for different people. Mm-hmm. You feel me? It's not a universal, thing for everybody. So for like Dane said, a soft living for him may be just a simple life, keeping things simple. You feel me? Not, it ain't that extravagant things in life. That's similar to me as well. You know what I mean? Simple things please me.
I don't
You
live
feel me?
outside of means.
Yeah, and I think taking care of ourselves, self-care, I think everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves that. So I think everybody should do that. Everybody should find that soft space or that safe space, however you want to put it, for themselves, because, how many times we on here, we talked about pouring into a cup. You can't pour from an empty cup,
Indeed.
So in order to fill yourself up, you got to find that place. You got to, what I mean? You can't be on go or 1,000 miles per hour every day. You feel me? You're going to burn yourself out. For anybody out there, trust me, I've been there, burnt myself out, trying to work 2-3 jobs, trying to, be there for everybody at the same time and not being there for yourself.
Yeah.
You feel me? My father always told me, what I mean? You can't take care of yourself, can't take care of nobody else if you can't take care of yourself first. You feel me? Worry about yourself. Take care of yourself. Make sure you set first, and then go help other people.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I was talking about earlier when I was saying about like with my job. I tell people like they worry about the work. They worry about certain things. At the end of the day, you got to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people be hung up on the certain things, and it just sucks to be, caught up in that and not really thinking about yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you go, it's still gonna move.
You're right.
The
And
world's still gonna move.
you shouldn't kill yourself to try to keep up with the Joneses. You should keep up with yourself, your lifestyle. That's them. Live your life. I know I had to stop hanging around certain people because they made a little bit more money to me at the time, a few years ago. I didn't hang with them as much because their lifestyle was different from mine. I couldn't keep up with certain people because, they made that much money. I was just a manager, he owned his own business.
Are you speaking of Vacation Willie?
Yeah. Well,
It doesn't matter.
I mean,
I think
and
we all want to
actually,
be like Willie in that aspect.
right. And so actually, I mean,
Absolutely.
they made a great point, and this goes back to what Smooth was saying, is that it does become a thing of what soft living can be for you when all of our lives are different, right? Like Dame said, I definitely value vacationing. I value doing things with my kids and that kind of thing. I had several businesses over a certain amount of time. Definitely had ran a couple of businesses at the same time, or ran one business and worked a day job, that kind of thing. But I started to realize that, like I said earlier in the show, that I was taking so much time away from my kids, from having a more relaxed life, or not even relaxed life, having relaxation time. That I started to realize how burnt out I was, how under stress I was, and things like that. So it became a matter of me adjusting my lifestyle so that I could take time out in vacation, take time out, spend time with the kids, or now spend time with my grandkids. To Chris's point, Chris said, I love the soft living life now that I've done all the crazy, wild and crazy ish. And that's the thing for me, is that I've done a lot of stuff in my youth. I've done a lot of stuff early on in my early adulthood that made it so that when I was at an age that I realized that it was no longer important for me to be at the club, to be at work 24/7, to be on the grind and the hustle constantly, that it was more important for me to sit at my kids' football game, or to take my kids for a walk, or go to the library with them, sit in my backyard and just chill and relax, go on a vacation or several. So but not everybody, that may not be for everybody. Somebody might say, hey, I just want to sit in my my easy chair and read a good book. I want to just like Chris, I know one of Chris's favorite activities is sitting in his bed, watch TV, and smoke one of his cigarettes. So we all have our own ways of soft living. And I think that, going back to the question, Smooth ended up segueing us into this question, is that, can we normalize soft living concepts without a movement? And I think that's the thing, is that, some of us understand what we need to do, what we need to change. And I do like the idea that we have something that kind of brings that attention, but we see where it ends up going, where it gets twisted or it gets manipulated. But I think that we definitely need to continue the conversation and continue to make sure we point these things out to each other. Like, hey, don't burn yourself out. Don't bring yourself, down trying to pull somebody up, right? So we definitely have to keep these things in mind, but we don't have to have a hashtag to label it, right? I don't know who else wanted to go on that.
What when we say, can we normalize the soft living concepts? I seen you had put something up. What was those the
Yeah, so these are the different concepts of and habits that you would need to adopt in order to live a soft life. Prioritizing yourself, saying no and sticking to your words, setting healthy boundaries and honoring your time, being mindful of what you're consuming in media, as well as being intentional and mindful of your daily habits and routines.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, man.
I was about to say, cutting certain people out your life can be added to that too, because their toxic habits can rub off on your soft living, because you might, their selfish ways can catch up to you and make it burden on you, your living.
I agree with that.
That's a major one, though. You gotta let.
Me and my cousins
But that's about creating boundaries, right? You create boundaries to not have those people. Sometimes you, like I said, when you're trying to better yourself, you can't bring everybody with you,
right?
Because everybody ain't on the same on the same level as you. Like, so if your mindset is to not necessarily level up, but like better yourself, and like I said to my point earlier, and like we said, if you want to change and you bring in the same old people that's doing the same old thing, you ain't changing. You pretending, putting on a show, but you're not necessarily changing. So sometimes you have to cut out the toxic people, or the people that are not this, and they don't have to be toxic. They could just be stagnant and okay with their life and stuck in that mindset of this is acceptable for me and this is all I want out of life. It's not that they toxic, it's that you have no drive, you have no ambition, and I'm trying to be over here doing this, and I can't have you over here just not.
Complacency.
Yeah, so that's the part. Like I said, that's to the benefit of, if you're trying to quote unquote live the soft life, you need to, or a better life, or a more productive life, or a progressive life, to get on the path that you're trying to be on. You got to let a lot of people go.
And sometimes you got to look in the mirror. I always say that mirror is the scariest place, and do a self-assessment, because sometimes we get so caught up in our own, madness or whatever, and not realize that we may be that person that's toxic.
We may be the toxic person.
You feel me? And I've been that person. That the person that always want to chime in on something, always got some advice, to when somebody don't ask it, they just want you to listen. So you gotta take, you gotta read the room, so to speak, with yourself sometimes, because sometimes we can be the problem. And I think that's one of the major concepts of getting to the point to where you can even have some soft living. You got to understand what's going on with you. I think too many times we look at the outside sources, and we give excuses for ourselves because we want to blame a group, or we want to blame a friend, or we want to blame something we done been through, instead of looking at our decisions, instead of looking at how we reacted to certain situations, because that can be the pinnacle of soft living, how we learn to react to
Yeah.
situations. You feel me?
It's easy.
Because
It's easier to point the finger than it is to look inside and make
That
you know what I'm
part.
saying,
Right,
accept
exactly. I
what
was just
role
about to
you
say
played
that.
in any situation.
Yeah, but I
You
think
better
like
absolutely.
stub your turn and just say, "Oh no, it's smooth fault. Ain't my fault."
yeah.
Right.
I
You
think
know,
to
Yeah.
some
Smooth's
people.
point, that look in the mirror and understanding where you're at and knowing who you are
Mhm.
Copy.
and accepting it and
Yeah.
knowing that you need to change. Like, because like I said, you can know who you are and not accept it and not acknowledge that you need to change. It's
Right.
all of that. You have that's a definite self accountability. Like we're more likely to hold someone else accountable and not hold ourselves accountable. And so
True.
like when you're
Very
looking
true.
at like to quote Cat Williams, you keep talking about you keep attracting ancient niggas. It's something about you that you keep attracting ancient niggas. Like you
Right.
the niggas is you. Like something that you're doing is not right. The
How
same
did I
with
fuck up
it's
the
the
way
same
you
with
feel
guys.
about
It's
you,
like
simple
you're attracting
bitch?
these same raggedy females and wonder why you get the same result and you keep coming for the same type. You got to internalize and see what is it about me that I'm doing this, or maybe I
Right.
need to
Right.
take a break.
Yep.
And another thing too, a lot of people aren't comfortable being alone.
Oh
You
yeah.
And some
need
people
people.
just aren't realistic. You know,
Like you
they
can,
can't face reality. They like to say they're trying to do better, but I'm sick of finding all these ratchet women at these clubs. But where are you at next week? Trying to find
At
some
the
ratchet
club.
women at the club.
yeah.
Right.
Like I'm trying to do better, but
You
you're still going to
no,
the
I
same
want a
spot.
wholesome church. I want a wholesome church girl. I'm at happy hour though, looking for.
Listen,
Right.
listen.
Right.
something,
Right.
something Dame just said. Something Dame just said. About I just want to piggyback off of delusions of grandeur.
Mhm.
I used to be one of
Yeah.
my favorite phrases. Delusions of grandeur.
Yep.
Some of us have these, and when I say some of us, I'm included in this. We
I'm
have
us.
these, yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know what I mean? We have these outrageous expectation or outrageous sense of worth or sense of reality sometimes of where we're at and what we're doing. You know, sometimes, how they say you got to manage expectations, because that can be your problem while you're not soft living. You're expecting to be somewhere that you didn't put the work in to be. You
Somebody
feel
hands
me?
it to you.
And now you can't accept that you're there, and you want to. Oh, I need the soft life. I need to. This is. I'm on the grind. When you put yourself in that situation, you feel me? And I've put myself in that situation where I had to, keep them wheels turning when that tread was gone. You know what I
Right.
mean? You feel me? So, sometimes we have to taper back our expectations of where we're at, or our delusions of where we're at, and deal with the reality of where we at. And then once you're in that position, then you can move forward and go into that soft life that you're trying to attain. You feel me? But you can't attain it when you don't have no sense of direction of where you're at, or point of reference of where you're currently of your current situation is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Right.
You
Right.
basically you're rudderless.
Oh, you said
Facts.
basically rudderless. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. But yeah. Yeah. Bottom line, I think the soft living concepts are great. I think it's definitely a matter of taking that time out for yourself, but also think that you also need to, like we just Smooth was just saying, be realistic about where you are in life and what you really need. Do you really need to live up to some influencers' definition of soft living? Do you really need to do everything that Willie Styles is doing? Do you need to do something that's just for you, or it's just for your kids, or just for you got to figure that out for yourself. You got to be mindful of what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And if how you're doing it is not working for you, then you got to work to attain to that, but also be deliberate about it as well, so that way it's effective. You don't want to say, okay, I'm stop working these 16-hour shifts, but then now you're over here hungry or having to beg for help and that kind of
Like
thing.
basically to the detriment of yourself, you're doing something that's not really helping you.
Exactly. Or you're talking about, I saw on this influencers page that soft living was going on this vacation, but you don't have vacation days. Like, come on, now you don't have a
just
job.
soft living and jobless. But
Exactly. So
It's
I
one
feel
thing
like
to work
You
16 hours.
losing money, you hustling backwards.
yeah,
It's
I feel like
one thing to work 16 hours to put food on the table versus 16 hours to be greedy. Just because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, you trying to get that lifestyle that those influencers are, living. That's not living a simple life, that easy life. That is putting more edges and daggers in your lifestyle because now you're tired, you're exhausted, and your body's about to give out. You just don't know it yet because your body will let you know, hey, chill out.
Right. Chris said
think-
people just don't love themselves enough to understand where they want to be.
Purpose.
Some people,
Purpose. Yeah.
something to Chris's comment. Some people.
I
feel
think
like
that
they
people
don't-
need to
Hold up,
stop
Sonny.
announcing stuff.
Yeah, Sonny.
What's
Hype, you got to get your mic closer because it's really hard to hear you, bro.
My bad. You hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Something that to what Chris is saying is some people, like if my dad left me, I feel like I ain't even worthy of love because I feel like the first man who was supposed to show me how to love or how to be loved or any of those things didn't give a fuck about me, so I must not be shit. Oh, all of the people that I love always go away, things never work out type time. So some people don't know how to love themselves because they feel like they don't deserve it. They feel like it's just not for me. It ain't in the cards for me. So I'm gonna give up on it and say fuck it and just try to come up with my own interpretations for how shit go.
That's a good point. It's a sad state, but it's a good point. And definitely people do go through that. You definitely have to realize that you are worth it, that you're enough, and that just because somebody who you thought. I mean, I just really had this conversation with somebody recently about having these expectations. We probably need to make this a whole different show because definitely we could talk about that all day in terms of how some people have you kind of twisted in terms of thinking that the expectations that you have for them and what you think that they need to do for you gets flipped back on yourself, and you think that if they didn't do this for me, then they're a bad person, I'm a bad person, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, you definitely have to like you said, taper those expectations and be realistic about who you're dealing with. Realize that the person that you have that expectation of just may not be adequate for either for your life or you may be giving them more power than you really need to give them. Thinking that parent, that absentee parent, or that parent that you feel like wasn't a great parent, is not doing their part or not doing enough, but they may not be a good parent. They just may not have been not. We had no rule book for parenting, but also some people just weren't meant to be parents. So having that disappointment in them and then eventually bringing that back on yourself is just not a good idea. You got to definitely keep that in mind.
One more time.
Expectations
Some
change.
people do think like that.
109.
Oh yeah, we know, Chris. We know who you are, bro.
You are, doggy. Doggy ain't got.
Yeah.
Doggy, been on this show too many times. I think we gotta identify yourself.
Laying across the bed anyway.
right.
He got a Newport across the bed.
That's our man's.
Yeah. But one more thing. Here's the opposite side of the soft living thing. When I talk about delusions of grandeur, we all think we can control life.
Yeah.
And life will let you know quickly how much little control you have over it, your own life. You know what I mean? Because tomorrow holds his own sorrows and joys. You know what I mean? And his own unexplained expectations. So the one thing about the soft living is don't get caught up into it too much neither. You feel me? Too much of anything can become a bad thing. So just as much as you can overwork yourself, you know what I mean, and overextend yourself, you can relax too much. You can get too comfortable. You feel me? You can become stagnant. And we all know everything that becomes stagnant end up dying. You feel me? So you can you can lose your way trying to live the soft life. You understand? So, you know, don't get so caught up into it of, you know, kind of repeating myself is of what everybody else soft life is. Just steal your moments.
Right.
You feel me? When you can, just steal your moments. You feel me? I can't get caught up, you know, comparing myself to Willie. You feel me? That's just a detriment to me, and that's unfair to Willie. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, it's like, man, oh, how Willie get to do this, go on these trips? Well, Willie put that work in.
Mm-hmm.
Be clear. You know what I mean? Willie set his life up that way. So, you know, don't compare yourself, because you'll always feel slighted. You'll always feel wanting more. You know what I mean?
You be chasing a unicorn, you know?
Exactly.
Straw man is what they call it. Yeah.
And you can't be
Yes.
somebody else. You have to be yourself, and you have to be comfortable with being yourself and do things according to you.
Absolutely.
Not
Absolutely.
following behind what everybody does. And then, like what I was trying to say earlier was, start doing stuff without announcing you're doing it.
Yes.
If you choose to live a soft life, that's fine. I mean, you can, but then it's just, it seemed like it to me, like when you get stuff like that, you start labeling it, like we talked about earlier. It gets into those hashtags, right? And then it becomes a fad for that time. So what happens when when they cancel soft living? You gonna stop living it because you've been living it for however long you chose to do it, and now all of a sudden they canceled it on July 1st, and now July 1st don't know what to do because now you're not soft living. What you doing?
Right.
You was happy, you mind your business, and in your comfort and in your peace, continue that. You don't have to have a name for it. It could just be mind your business and moving forward. I'm at peace.
And
everything don't need to be announced. I mean, and you talk, and I'm saying this knowing that as much as I post a lot on social media, people think they know me, but they have no idea. Like, you know, that what I choose to share, but I'm an oversharer by nature. But like, it's just some things that don't need to be shared, and like that's what you're doing. Like, yeah, you can share your accomplishments, you can do all that stuff, because I applaud people when they do things, and I feel like I'm proud of them. If I know that they struggled for whatever they were doing and they got to this point, I'm proud of you, and I want you to share it and tell your story. Sometimes your story help people, but I think that sometimes we just need to shut the fuck up and just live our life, and you know.
Absolutely.
And to piggyback off what Sonny was saying, you know, trying to keep up with somebody else's lifestyle. What if you don't even like doing that? What if I'm trying to keep up with Willie, trying to go on these vacations, but I don't like traveling? That makes no sense.
Right.
You have to find your niche. Don't be trying to follow after these influencers just because it's what's hip and what's cool, you know, for them, for you to try to live their lives.
Right.
That's not cool.
Like these
you know,
prom
trends.
The prom, yeah, man.
These prom trends when people spending like basically like they spending money like they paying for a wedding for kids that been together for a whole year. Like y'all doing too much. That's a whole trend. You're wasting a whole lot of unproductive dollars. You could just be giving it to me or paying my mortgage. I feel like
these niggas is going by themselves.
6 weeks.
For real.
Yeah, some of these people going by
themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
You shut down the whole block, got a Maserati out here. We all know you don't have the money for this Maserati. Nobody
and you in the project getting a Maserati to go to the prom, wearing ridiculous outfits.
The crazy shit, yo. Hey, Sonny, was you outside of your prom watching your girlfriends pull up and whatever they came in?
No, I was in the prom. No, I didn't go to prom. And when the prom I went to, I got dressed and went inside. I was
That's
inside.
What I'm saying. No, not nobody is outside to see you pull up and nothing.
Absolutely.
Right.
No, your aunties, your mama, your daddy, to make sure, and
all of the
your cousins
chipped
they
in
live
on
there.
this car. Yeah.
Say that
my
again.
military balls. I rode up in a regular car. I had a nice dress on, but yeah.
We taking pictures of all the niggas that chipped in on this car. You feel me?
That part. Everybody who chipped in, these families buying Gucci custom-made outfits, spending thousands and thousands of dollars. These kids ain't even about to get married. They about to probably have a baby, get pregnant at the prom, and then be coming to you 9 months later. You got to throw a whole. What you gonna do?
That's
baby shower?
That's super funny, hype. Because My dad took, as soon as my prom was over, my dad took that bitch back. Like, I'm riding
Right.
this. This is my,
Oh, best believe. Best believe. Yep. Yep.
oh,
He
that's
like,
too
what? I've
funny.
been Hey Smooth. He was like, man, I've been waiting to get one of these my damn self.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh no! Best believe I drove my son's car straight from the prom, right off into the sunset, like bro, like
Vacation Willie had him a staycation lined up. He said, oh yeah,
literally, literally.
Oh man, that's too
Boy.
Like
funny.
I enjoyed the prom car more than he did.
If you pay
Fact.
for it, you might as well enjoy it more than he did.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Do you have his license yet?
We definitely didn't spend no thousands of dollars on no send off. It was like get a couple family members together to take a couple pictures. See you later. Like
Y'all got 7 different
First
outfits leading up to prom. Y'all doing too much.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
way
See,
too
this
no
is the
doubt.
crazy shit for me, y'all. My mom is a seamstress. So my mom made prom dresses, wedding dresses, you going to a party. I've been seeing this shit my entire life.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm sure you've
And
seen some wild
like,
stuff.
Hey,
and
my,
now
my
this shit
brothers
is
went to
getting
prom in
this
the
shit is getting
escort.
outrageous.
Yeah,
What
it's
you say?
outrageous.
Listen, I seen a girl get her dress custom made and it came off on the dance floor. She was backing that ass up in that,
Oh,
in that,
wow.
in that dress, backed itself up and was like, we out, you do what you want. She
Mhm.
dropped the grip on that dress and bitch came right out of it
Mm-hmm.
and had to go home and go get a new dress because she didn't want to miss too much of it. It's real.
That goes back to our conversation about how social media done changed everything. So now it's everything's a show. You know, everybody, you know what I mean, want to be Insta famous.
Yes.
You know, everybody, you know, it's like I kind of miss, you know, the privacy. I kind of miss not knowing, not seeing what everybody doing. You
Mhm.
feel me? All the time. Or everybody not trying to put on a show. Everybody trying to outdo each other. Because at some point, it becomes silly. Just like we
Mhm.
talking. It
Right.
becomes silly. It becomes silly. Like, you know what I mean? Like who y'all trying to impress?
Right. Exactly. What are you trying to prove? Who you
Like I
trying to
just
impress?
seen this. I seen
Yeah.
this prom thing. These kids had three or four different outfits. They doing Bonnie and Clyde out there taking pictures with weapons, being on one approaches for robbery. And y'all parents condone this? Like when y'all out here getting choppers, they got all this money. Where's like what y'all doing?
Hey,
Yeah.
Smooth.
No.
Hey,
When going back to the silly part, I saw one of those prom send off girl walking down the street with a goat on a leash. Like, why you get the baby goat involved? That baby goat don't have nothing to do with prom. I'm sure it didn't
Probably
sign up
shitting
for
on her
this.
dress.
Right, exactly. Like,
Oh
come
wow.
on, bro. Like, what is you doing? Like, I don't get
Smelling
it.
like goat's ass going into prom. Just get your stupid ass out of
That's
here.
what I'm saying.
Right, right.
Karima, what the fuck is you doing,
Yeah,
girl?
me
you know
too.
what?
Me too.
Just because we're in competition with each other, my daughter's taking karate will be better than your daughter, Smooth. She don't even like karate.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's how it be though. That's how. Hey, listen. It was, man. Listen, I'm living it. Listen, me and my daughter talked about it today because she been in crying 2 years. You feel me? So like after a year, she was in. Now I look down the street, whole couple got all their kids in karate, right? So I'm
Right.
like, dead serious, bro. So today, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, have you seen him going to karate lately? She was like, nope. I was like, yeah. He trying to do what I do, not knowing I got one daughter. He got to pay for like 4 kids.
Oh,
You feel me?
yep, exactly.
That shit
Yep, exactly.
ran up on his ass. You feel me? So that's what you get trying to do what you see somebody else doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stay in your lane.
You're right.
Listen,
Exactly.
I don't got time for that. These people be doing the most, and it's not the kids' fault. It be the parents. Like I'm not blaming these kids. These kids got their. Oh, and I thought I was muted. These kids got their own little wave, but like y'all parents should have a stop button.
Yeah.
They
Or
just-
the parents
supposed to be
enabling the
young
kids,
enough.
because you know some kids will go on social media and see this stuff, and then now they feel entitled, right? You know, they feel entitled. They're demanding this stuff, like, well, such and such did this, and look what they got on here, you know, that kind of thing. And then next thing you know, these parents that enable that kind of stuff, they're like all with it, you know, because they want to prove to their friends that they can stunt and they can do this, that, and the other for their kids, and you know, it just keeps that cycle going.
Give them a fault. They giving them,
aren't doing.
yeah, they give them a false sense of reality. That's what social media has been doing. That's what to Willie's point, that even went on in our era before
Or
social
the
media.
parents got to be coming
Yeah,
out of pocket more because the kids, all their friends doing the same thing.
yeah, and giving their kids a false sense of reality. Like for instance, you know, and sometimes, you know, I have to explain to my daughter, like just not too long ago, I'm talking about a couple hours ago, my daughter, this was exactly what she said to me. Dad, if you surprise me again with a trip this summer, make sure we go on the plane. Right?
Okay.
So you know what I mean? That threw me for a loop for a second. Now she moved around. She on the steps now because she heard me talking about it. You know what I mean? It threw me for a loop for a second because I'm like, all right, I think I set the standard too high. I think you know, she think this is easy. You feel me? To plan these big trips, to plan that Disney World trip, you know what I mean? To do all these type things. You know, it's like baby, you know, no, daddy ain't Mr. Warbucks around here. You feel me? Like this ain't DuckTales. You ain't, you know what I mean? You ain't diving in the in the sea of gold. You understand? Like
Take our ass on the Pat Coast.
you feel me? So
we going to South Street.
exactly. Exactly. Like she gotta, you know, so it's like I understand sometimes, like Willie said, we enable this. You feel me? Because I had spoiled her. You feel me? And sometimes they don't know that they are spoiled. You feel me? And then they go on social media and it's like, oh, they're doing that. I want to do that too. It's like, nah, baby, that's fake. That's not real. That's not reality. You feel me? And the parents that are enabling in that are setting their kids up for failure in the future.
Yeah, yeah. Because it creates an enabled society. You know, these kids, they this is why a lot of them are so entitled. You know, a lot of them expect things that you know they haven't earned. They want the world to just give them things because they may have just been given things so much, you know, either as kids or they're watching it on social media or they're watching it on TV and that kind of thing. And nobody's tapering those expectations or nobody's giving them that dose of reality. You know, that's the biggest thing. Like we got to give our kids a dose of reality and be like, hey, look, you know, this is what's really going on in the world. This is what's really important in the world. This is what's really happening. You know, one day I took my kids, I told them, you know, I said, you know, yeah, I'm giving you a good life. You know, I was like, but this is the reason I do this is because this is where I came from. I took them to my old neighborhood. I showed them, you know, how some people that I still know that are still living in, you know, in the struggle, or that, you know, allowed them to go to different events where, you know, we may have volunteered or seen how, you know, people are, you know, trying to just survive, let alone get by. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be getting by. Some people do really well getting by, but then when you see people that are really just surviving, there's a huge difference between survival and breaking even. So, you know, being able to give them that dose of reality is hugely important, to make sure that they're grounded and level set and making sure they understand that, you know, the world isn't just going to hand you, you know, life on a silver platter. There's going to be challenges. Life's not fair.
Yeah,
life is not fair.
Yeah, I think too is like you got a lot of these kids that don't even act right in school.
Pigs.
They're all over the place. They're not following directions. They're disrespectful at home, and because it's prom season and you ain't broke or you got to show people and show out, you doing this unproductively to the detriment of yourself. It's like, if you're my kid and you're all over the place and you're not doing what you need to do, there's no problem. Why am I about to, like, I'm not obligated to do this at all. Like, same, like, I'm one of them parents. Like, you're not going to be literally an asshole all year long, and prom comes and I'm about to spend thousands of dollars on you because, you know, this is what's supposed to happen, or this is what most kids are doing. You're not most kids. You didn't follow rules all year. You don't get a prom. I'm not spending nothing. Like, and if you go to prom, it's on your dime. So whatever you have saved, you do. And, you know, if you want to go, then you can pay whatever you want to pay. But it's humbling these kids. Like you said, you got to humble them at some point. I'm not obligated to do this. I would like to do this. I mean, like if you're a parent and you want to do something nice for your kid, and your kid has been like a honor roll student, and you want to, do something big for them as far as prom is concerned, that makes okay. If that's what you want to do, spend some extra money and go the extra mile, go right ahead. But I'm not doing nothing for ungrateful kids that ain't doing right. I'm sorry.
Right.
I know a lot of kids that I see on my timeline that ain't been living their life right, and y'all parents be on Facebook talking about it, and then you go through spending thousands and thousands of dollars, knowing I know where you live at, and your kid out here getting in these cars, and it's like, this kid ain't even go to school. Why are we doing all this?
Right.
What you about to say, Dan?
You know, this world is a copycat world, and Smooth knows what I'm about to say. I can tell you where it all started from. Sports. Remember, everybody got to get a participation award and trophy. They didn't earn it. They was given something. It was spoiled. That's how people got spoiled.
And somebody got upset they didn't get a trophy because they didn't do nothing besides waste time.
Well, let's give him a trophy because he feels bad. My generation grew up on, you work hard, you get what you deserve. If you don't get it, work harder. And now I think it's our generation as parents has given away those trophies for free because they don't want to hurt their kids' feelings. Not showing them the hard work and determination is what gets by in this world, not giving away free because you stomp and pout.
Yeah.
Right. The challenges. Make them get the challenges.
Yeah, we had to earn our stars in school to get the prize.
I wish I would.
when you spoil your kid and don't ever tell them no and don't never really teach them how life gonna go, they grow up thinking the world owe them shit. They grow up thinking everything's supposed to work for me. Shit's supposed to go my way. What you mean I can't do this, that, or whatever? What you mean I can't buy a car that costs $800 a month and I make $1,200 a month? Like, something about that logic doesn't work. But if you've never been told no, if you've never had to earn, work, or do anything for shit because you just got it because that's my son, that's my daughter, I mean, you raise your kids how you want to raise them. That's definitely not how mine is getting raised.
And then the world chews them up and spits their ass out, and you like, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, you got to prepare. My daughter grew up on I'm broke. That's how she grew up on I'm broke, so don't ask me for shit, I'm broke. I probably got it. But to you, I'm broke. I ain't got nothing.
That's how I do it.
It's not all about if I got it. It's about you have to understand, like Smooth said, these things take money, they take time, and nobody's handing me this shit.
And you know what? I want to take Sonny's phrase. You gonna raise some unproductive kids doing that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't even before I used to say, my fault, Willie. Before I used to use that I'm broke. You know what I mean? I noticed that still don't work because, she don't really understand the concept of what that means anyway.
Yeah.
At this point. So, you know what I settled with? No.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? Because I
set boundaries with your kids. You gotta set boundaries.
Why you asking me why? Like, that makes sense.
Why I might start laughing.
Like, I spoiled my daughter. I ain't gonna hold you. I spoiled my daughter to an extent. But
Well, I mean, that's my thing is not only did I say no, but I also gave them goals that they had to reach. Like you want XYZ, you gotta get certain grades. You want to go on this trip, you gotta do well in this extracurricular activity that you're doing. You want to go to your friend's house this weekend. Well, you have to make sure that they didn't do a lot of that, but you want to go hang out with your friends or whatever. Then you have to do all your chores. Set goals. And that's the thing is that a lot of kids don't have chores. They don't have goals that they're being set that are hard set. You got to stick to your word when it comes to that as well. You can't tell a kid that they got to reach a certain point in something and then still allow them to do it when they fall short. You got to give them the like I said, a dose of reality. That was one of the biggest things that I learned from my parents was like that dose of reality hits hard for a kid when they realize that you're not just going to give them something for like Dame said, like it's a participation award. You getting something just because you live in. Like, no, that's not how it works. It's just the thing is that I think kids respect rules and boundaries. They don't they may not understand what being broke is. They may not understand what entitlement means. They may not understand a lot of different things. But once you start showing them and you start sticking to this word, you start setting those boundaries, they'll understand that quickly.
Yeah, because I think that's what the kids that have been around, that grew up around me, they know Aunt Red mean, but at the same time, I love you and I'm gonna protect you. But nothing like what it's certain rules that is what goes around in my house that doesn't go. Like you can't do certain things. You don't have that entitlement. You know, this is how this works. Like I remember my niece told me one day she don't eat leftovers. I said that's not like a personal problem, and you won't be touching anything in my house. Since you didn't want to eat the food that I cooked, don't go in the refrigerator and touch nothing else. Right. So like when we grew up, we didn't have the luxury of saying we didn't want. We ate whatever was put at the table, and if we didn't eat that, we didn't eat. So yes, now at your house you may be entitled to not eat leftovers and not warm them up, but in my house you don't have that entitlement. So yeah, I love you. You're gonna eat, and if you don't want to eat, that's fine. It's not gonna be nothing else in here. You have some water. Right. You can have all the water you want. But like those boundaries, and you know, like at the end of the day, I love you. I'm not intentionally trying to hurt you, but I want you to be on point. Same with my daughter. Like she knew the rules of the house, so you knew what you needed to do, and you know what I expected of you. And if you didn't do this, this is what happens. Right. And it hurt me one time not to do something for her, but I had to get her to learn the lesson.
Yep. So great conversations, great topics. We need to wrap this show up. So make sure you guys check us out every we got tons of shows. You can check us out here every Monday, 10 p.m. for the GFT radio show. You can check out Hype on Tuesdays, How to Hustle Podcast with Hype. Tuesdays at 2 p.m. here on YouTube, but you can also follow it on all of the popular audio streaming services every Monday at 2 a.m. Styles and Chevy Recap. We will be back very, very soon. We got a lot of different content we're going to be doing reviews on, so make sure you come back for that. We got the new Marvel shows coming up. We have a couple of movies to review as well. Sex with Sunny Live is 2 Fridays each month at 6 p.m. And you guys are going to be back soon with the Fans Perspective?
Once I get into my soft life, no
doubt. Has anybody else noticed that the fan is not going tonight?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Me and Dave got to talk. We got to do so. It's the NBA Finals and everything, man.
Yeah,
what? So, it's the finals.
Sunny, tell the folks where they can find you.
Sorry guys, my camera is acting up. But anyway, interact with me at IamSunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Also visit me at unreservedlyme.com.
I love that picture, Sunny.
Thank you.
Whoa, I look crazy right now.
We can do that to you.
Not smooth regret, not turning his camera off.
I just got on work. Listen, man, y'all can catch me all the damn time on Twitter at EatFredGroomy, IG at Mr. Wilson 11_11. Snap, I'm no longer on Snap. I had to somebody tried to scam me on Snap, so I had to delete that. You can catch me on my blog at kingstruth.com. Holla at your boy.
The show.
At I Am Hype on Instagram and Twitter, at I Am Hype 23 on TikTok. At Custom Hustle World, custom jerseys, jackets, sneakers. Yes, we have the sneakers and the twos. The Custom Hustle sneaks, the number 2s will be out very soon. 3s are in the process as well, but you know what I'm saying? The 2s are coming. They're on deck.
For sure. Dane?
It's your boy Willie. Oh, no. I'm sorry. You can interact with me on Never Level Up on Instagram, Shinlo21 on Twitch and Xbox Network. And yeah, I don't care about TikTok no more.
All right, for sure. It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. You can visit me over at stylesradio.com, where I'm listening to all the hot tracks, or visit me over at williestyles.info for all my links. Appreciate you all joining. Make sure you hit all the links. Make sure you get our merchandise over at gftradio.creator-spring.com. And until next time, we are out.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Perspective, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on GFTradioshow.com for all of our audio and video playbacks, as well as links